Hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening everyone from wherever you're watching. I hope you all are doing well and doing fine. So I'm going to talk about the trending issue about Jhene Aiko and Big Sean breaking up and the letter she wrote. She made a post on social media and talks about how their relationship has ended or something like that. And I want to use this video as a way of passing a message to, women out there, to my fellow women, about something very, very important that I think we must know. First of all, this thing about, I've seen this, she's not the first, honestly. I've seen this thing about women, they will be in relationship with a guy for about 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, even 25 years, and the man will waste their time for many years and you won't marry them. And, and before you know it, he will meet another woman and within 6 months, he has already married her. Meanwhile, he has been wasting another woman's time for how many years and he didn't bother to marry her. But one thing that women like this don't also understand is that, from what I've noticed, no man can ever waste your time if you do not allow it. If you didn't allow it, no man can ever waste your time. There's a level of self-awareness and, self-worth. When you realize your worth and your value as a woman and you get to a level of self-discovery and self-awareness, there's a level you get in your life that no man can ever play you anyhow. No man can ever play you to that level if you didn't allow it. Because even Jhene Aiko herself, when she got into that relationship 10 years ago, now she's 37, so then she was 27. She wasn't even too young. It's not like she was a teenager. She wasn't too young not to know any of these things. I think she just fell in love hopelessly, or rather, let me put it this way, she was even infatuated. Because if truly Big Sean loved her that much, or he was reciprocating the energy, they should have been married by now, isn't it? But so how come he never felt the need to marry her? And from what I also noticed, I know that between men and women, when it comes to relationships, I think men are even more logical. Like, men are more strategic when it comes to choosing a partner. Like, men, a lot of times, they will always, even if they fall in love, I'm not saying that men don't fall in love, but I know that men will always choose a partner based on selfish reasons, which, to be honest, I will not even condemn entirely, because it's actually better for you, no matter how much you're in love, it's better for you to think about what you benefit from this relationship. Because a lot of times, when you don't think of how that relationship is going to benefit you in any way, as much as you are willing to give, but you must also be willing to think about what you are gaining from this relationship. Because if you are not gaining anything good, then it's not really a place where you want to be in. And that's one thing I've realized that men do. So Big Sean, I'm sure he was also looking at, okay, because this lady left her husband to be with me, because that's what we heard out there. Jhene Aiko apparently was even married at the time when she got together with Big Sean and eventually got divorced before she now got into this relationship. And even if, okay, she may have been in love with him, or she was actually in love with him, since she actually got a tattoo of him on her arm or something, so since she actually got a tattoo of him, I believe she was actually in love with him and wanted him to marry her or something. But I'm sure Big Sean in his mind may have been thinking, oh, this lady left her ex-husband to be with me. If I marry her, what if she's going to divorce me? And you know that the laws in the US, for those of us who don't live in the US, the laws in the US don't work like the way it is in other countries. If someone gets... It's not just only in the US, even in other Western countries. A lot of times when you are divorcing, you have to think about sharing properties, sharing belongings, think about dividing so many things. It's not just only in the US anyway. Even in my country, Nigeria, where I come from, it happens. But divorce is not easy. Let me just put it that way. But I know that US laws, whoever has more money, at least from what I heard, whoever has more of the income would be required to split their income and be required to pay some alimony or something like that. And I know that, divorce can really take a toll on people mentally and physically. So it's something that a lot of people don't want to even embark on, which I understand. So who knows? So maybe Big Sean was thinking about it in that level, but he didn't have any problem with being with her in that relationship and, and she going ahead to get pregnant and giving birth. And despite that, he still didn't marry her. One thing okay, the point I'm going to make in this video is, first of all, as a woman, the worst mistake you will ever make is to think that men are dumb, or men don't have sense, or they don't know what they are doing, or they are stupid or something. Men are not that stupid. They are not that stupid. That's something that I realized as I got older. Men are not that stupid not to know what they want. I'm not saying that it's every man in this world that knows what he wants, but for a lot of them, even when women get played right in their presence, even when a man is playing a woman right in her presence, and it looks like the man, he doesn't know what he's doing, or maybe he's just not able to make a decision. I really need women to stop making excuses, because even me too, the old me would have made excuses and said, okay, maybe he's actually not coordinated right now. He hasn't coordinated his life. He has not been able to put things together, so he can't say whether he's truly ready for marriage or not. But do you know that most times they actually know what they want? I mean, that's why we keep seeing the same pattern of, some of these men, not all anyway, but some of them, they will date a woman. The ones that do things like this, they will date a woman for 5 years, 10 years, then they will marry a woman that they met within 6 months. Why is that? So you now begin to wonder, why does that happen? If truly he didn't know what he wanted, why did he marry someone that he just met in less than a year? Why he has been with another woman for over how many, at least for about a decade, without saying anything, without any ring? Another woman has been waiting for the ring for over a decade. She has not seen. Then another woman comes into the picture. He has not even known her up to a year, and he has given her a ring. So these men actually know what they want a lot of times, but it's just not you. It's just that most times, because you as a woman too, you lack boundaries and you lack respect for yourself. That is why that man sees the opportunity to take advantage of it and just uses you to his own benefit until he finds what he's looking for. That's all I see here. So you're only being exploited, and you're allowing yourself to be exploited without commitment. So that's why the point of this message is, women, have more respect for yourself. You need to learn to be, women really need to learn to be loving themselves more. I'm not saying that you shouldn't love any man or fall in love with anybody, but please, I even believe that the whole idea of falling in love hopelessly, falling in love is good. I'm not saying I don't believe in love, but if you ask me my opinion about this love thing, so far as this is the real world, don't fall in love like the movies. Do not fall in love like the movies, because you're going to hurt yourself real bad. Don't fall in love like the way people fall in love in the movies. Leave the movies for the movies. In real life, you fall in love with sense. Fall in love with common sense. Not because you are trying to play games. It's not because I want to play mind games, or because I want to just be nasty or something. No, it's actually because you are trying to protect yourself. Because you want a situation where you fall in love with someone that is willing to give you the same energy. You want to fall in love with someone that is genuine. You don't want to fall in love with someone that is going to hurt you just because you fell in love hopelessly. Don't do that hopeless, infatuated love without guarding yourself to an extent, because you are living in a world where people are willing to exploit. You are living in a world with human beings that have ill intentions. Of course, there are good people out there, but it's by falling in love sensibly that will help you to find the ones who are good enough, so that you'll be able to, have the upper hand. You'll be able to have some advantage and be with the ones who are good and prevent the exploitative men. So it's actually for your own good. So I don't believe in this whole movie thing that, fall in love anyhow. And please, involve your loved ones. Involve your family. Don't say it's us against the world. And if you have any trusted family members or trusted friends that can help you to vet, please vet people. Always vet people. Do your research. Investigate and vet people before you even go far with them. Don't go far with anybody except you vet that person. Vet people very well before you. Don't do this hopeless love. I'm in love. You marry only because of love. And no, that's the only thing I'm going to say here. You must love sensibly and love with all your senses intact. Even if you want to close your 2 eyes, open one eye, because it's going to save you from problems in the future. That's all I'm going to say. Don't be infatuated by anybody. All those things are not reality. Those things are what the movies paint. All those things are only painted by the movies to bring some fantasy, but they are not real. Please, guys, be honest. If at least more than half of women actually knew this, we will not be having much of these problems. And a lot of times, even many of these men that do things like this, they will be forced to sit up and do the right thing. But when you keep granting them the benefits of marriage without them committing, I'm not talking about just helping each other here and there and all that, but I'm talking about going ahead to even get pregnant and giving children and thinking that children is going to solidify your relationship with a man. You're only setting yourself up for a lot of problems. You are creating problems for yourself, because, my dear, you are going to end up a baby mama. That's what will likely happen. And I'm not going to, I will not say because other men marry their baby mama, so that means that will be the story for you. Don't look at other people's stories and say that, oh, because other people got married, even after having children for their men, so that means I will be like them. No. How often does it happen? When you see situations like that, you need to calculate the percentages. You need to look at the statistics. How many women actually get married to their baby daddies after popping out kids for them? How many of them? Even though in my opinion, I don't even like those type of marriages. I will not say that some of them are not in love. It's even good that the ones that got married, it's good for them that they got married anyway. I'm not saying it's a bad thing that they married, but I don't fancy, for me, where I come from in Nigeria, in fact, when I was growing up, I hardly ever saw a situation where couples are married and, when a couple is getting married, especially when we were younger, when we used to go for weddings back in the day. I remember anytime we were invited for weddings, you would just see the bride and groom and their families. There was barely a time I ever saw the bride and groom with children, and you would tell me that if at all we ever saw any children during the wedding, it was the children of their own relations. It was usually the children of their brothers, their sisters that were playing the little bride and little groom, but it was never their own children. The couple, in most cases, in most of the weddings I was going to in Nigeria, especially when I was younger, they were always childless. It is after the wedding that they start having children, except maybe in very, very rare cases, which, to be honest, I never saw. I only started hearing that couples even have children as I was getting older, and it's mostly outside Nigeria, mostly in the US or maybe in Europe. Like, I started hearing those type of things, but in most cases it was not common. From where I grew up, it was barely common. People marry before they have children here, and this from what I've always seen. And even though we saw it as tradition and normally, the woman was meant to keep herself, both husband and wife were meant to wait until they are ready to marry. From our culture and society, the right thing to do was to get married first. Know each other's families, do your investigations, be sure that you guys are good for each other, you are compatible, and then you get married and settle down. But even though it was seen as the norm, but now I'm even beginning to understand that it's even to our advantage, especially as a woman. It's to your advantage. I'm not saying that marriage is always a 100% guarantee that a man will not leave, but to a large extent, it's actually a man choosing to give you a ring and commit to you. That is, if you desire marriage, it shows that he himself values you and values it shows how much he values the relationship he has with you and how much he's willing to put into the relationship between the two of you. It's different from just, two of you are together, the next thing, you are already pregnant every year, you are getting pregnant and giving birth to children, yet there's no form of commitment. That is not a good situation to put yourself in. It's not. So women need to be more selfish with their decisions and make better choices. That's the point I'm trying to make here. Don't give a man a baby when he's not with it, when he doesn't see you as someone that he wants to spend the rest of his life with. You're not doing yourself any good, and you're not doing those children any good either. So that's the point I'm trying to make. So thank you very much everyone for staying and for stopping by. I hope you guys subscribe so that we can keep discussing all other issues. Thank you all so much for all you've done, for all the support you've given me, and I hope we see you in the next video. Thank you very much. Goodbye.